project Nigeria that should explain the reasons why Yorubas will do better, Igbos will do better, Hausas and Fulanis will do better, and in every part they found themselves that they legitimately own as theirs, so to say, if they are not part of this entire forced contraption. But the Yorubas that is part of Nigeria, the Igbos that are part of Nigeria, the Hausa, Fulani, and other ethnic, 200 ethnic nationalities that are part of Nigeria, and their representatives, they are more interested in what they are going to get for themselves than what their people truly deserves. So Sowore came here and he said, Mayegun, I agree that for progress to come, then definitely every region needs to handle their own affairs. But it's never going to happen, Mayegun. It will never happen with these guys. Whether they are PDP, APC, Labour, or NNPP, or whatever party they call themselves, it's never going to happen. Why? Because the survival of the ruling class, the elite, who make their millions and billions, and who are parading themselves based on this wondrous and porous Nigeria, they will never let that happen. It can only happen when these guys lose that power. And losing that power is never through an election. Sowore said that on this platform, and there's never been any truest word said. And he said, whatever can be done, whether it's going to be through the ballot, a revolution, you see, this entire system and the beneficiaries of it, they must go. They can never be part of the solution that we eventually bring in or usher in. The type of development that some of you have in mind, you will never get them through any of these guys, ever. Sowore was the first person to say that here. He said, I support the Yoruba nation 100%. I support the independence of Biafra 100%. But according to him, with Yorubas here, the Igbos there, and others here and there, apart and pursuing their own their own personal agenda as it is, if you pay attention very well, the owners of Nigeria, they also come from all these tribes. As long as they have hold on the leverage of power, they will never allow that to happen. Then Peter Obi came, playing on that sentiment. In his own words, he said, listen, APC, Egbekegbe, people destroying people, they have contributed immensely to this level of division that we are witnessing today. And they ask him, what would be your reaction to the people who are demanding for Biafra and the people who want Yoruba nation? As a typical politician, he dodged the question, but he actually answered it to some extent. That is, he was able to say this word. He said, the failure of leadership, the growing poverty, which has also created so much gap within the populace, has created and contributed to the agitation for Biafra and Yoruba nation. And in his own word, he said, rather than go after them and killing them, a responsible government will know that until Nigeria is completely broken, all these people demanding for their own, autonomous states, independent states, they are demanding for them because of the injustice that they are currently experiencing in Nigeria. That is in no way looking like it's coming to an end, not anytime soon. He said a responsible government will not turn their guns on them, okay? They will engage them. They will have conversation around what are the injustices And how much is the effort the government is actually making to address them rather than declare them enemies and turn your guns on them? Then on the other hand, you want them to be patriotic. You want them to love Nigeria. You want them to speak good of Nigeria, the same Nigeria that is killing them, that is, hunting them, profiling them, jailing them. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, does it? So he's the only candidate as well currently who did say something about that conversation. So in a way, the likes of Tifnumbu, the likes of Atiku, they are promising unity in the face of injustice. They are promising unity in the face of impunity. They are promising unity in the face of all this charade and fraudulent, what do you call it, forcefulness, so to say. But by and large, short and long, however you played it, to those of us who have seen through all of this, we know where it is going to end. Okay? So preferably, anyone who is who is part of any group, organization, individuals that has publicly, I'm talking about publicly, rejected this criminal system that thrives on what do you call it? Give me a second. It's like we have one of these Lagos Abobakus here. Listen, I know it can be painful, all right, to see that somebody, somehow, is talking about Tifnumbu. You see, instead of you to tell me to probably get a job or get something doing, right, I'm going to say you should use your own time. So, right, in all honesty, use your time as much as you have, if you have job yourself, right, use your time to try and help the people who destroyed Nigeria, Tifnumbu and gang, okay, to save the brothers and sisters that you have dipped into perpetual poverty. You don't have shame. Now, look at this. What Nigeria has become, why many of us are going to continually tell you to distance yourself from whatever these criminals are promising. It is same of the same, is that Nigeria has become a fascist state. And the description of a fascist state, according to, give me a sec, according to the to the wise men in this live, right? They said, give me a minute. There's a place I actually dubbed that earlier, fascism, right? And I want you to pay attention to this as well, okay? When you look at the kind of the character of people that you're going to see who are pro one Nigerians, right? Who are like Lagos Abobakus, the what do you call it, the Oshogbo Alimajiris and co, especially the Cyber barbarians. Pay attention to this. So they are one Nigerianist, and they're like, if you kind of be on the opposing side to all these rogues, all these criminals, all of these urinating relics that they worship, you can see the following characters in them, okay? And that is exactly what the future of Nigeria is. If you care about the future of your own children, listen to me, you will jump off that voyage of that one Nigeria, okay? Listen to this. So, fascists, the fascists of this world, right? If you see them, they are like, they promote things like being powerful and continuing nationalism. Do you get that? They will be talking about nationalism, our national, our country. Wait for it. They call it early signs or early warning or warning signs of fascism. powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for human rights, identification of enemies as a unifying cause. Once you oppose, you are an enemy. Then they have supremacy. They have what they are. I mean, in that society, you see supremacy of the military. The military is dreaded. They are like above almost everyone in such society. Rampant sexism. For example, women are limited to this. Men are expected of this. There are kind of expectation in that society, right? Then they have a controlled mass media. They control the media so that they feed you with whatever they want you to be repeating, okay? They program you and all that, okay? So they have obsession with national security. Every small thing, they would say, for the sake of national security. Oh, for the sake of national... They don't care about any national security, oh. Do you get that now? Any small thing, they'll say, national security. National security. No. That's fascism, okay? Then they have the obsession for it. They can kill you because if they kill you, they'll say they killed you because of national security. Okay? Now, they have religion. In that society, you have religion and government intertwined. That is when you will see politicians using God in place of hard work and responsibility. I am opening this all in the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Or I am opening this hospital in the name of Almighty Allah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. They say, in the name of Allah. Meanwhile, the hospital will have no medical equipment. The hospital will have no real anything at all, you get? But they mix religion with government in such society. That is Nigeria for you. Now, in that society, the corporate, or let me say the corporate power, are well protected. Monopoly system, quota system. You see, you have billionaire, the richest man in Africa, quota system billionaire from Nigeria, the man that they shot Nigerian border for, and they gave him the extra key to open the border and bring in the same thing that they are killing people for if they find them in Nigeria. Monopoly and all that. The man that can construct a refinery, but the entire country, Nigeria, couldn't maintain a refinery, talk less of a building another one. You know, that kind of thing is well protected. They will even make laws to keep them safe. That society, that is what you have there. Then labor power is suppressed. You're right, as somebody who is either a worker, who contributes to the same economy, because you are the engine room. All of you are cleaners, drivers, teachers. All of you who actually run the economy, okay? You will never have any say in such society. They will suppress any power of labor, so to say. So they have disdains for intellectuals and arts, okay? So if you are into any sort of intellectualism, they don't want you, okay? Remember, Nigeria, for example, never lack intelligent people, brainy people. I'm talking about wise people who have gone far in their different choosing their careers and fields outside Nigeria. But when you go back to Nigeria, the worst of the worst, the relics of that society, they are the ones ruling the place, controlling the affair, making laws and policies for the rest of you, and you are expecting progress in such society. Now, listen to this. So they have, according to they said, they have rampant, or let me put it this, they have obsession with crime and punishment. In such society, they always want to tell you what is crime, what is a criminal offense, and what is not, and how much of that punishment they can give to you. In Nigeria today, thieves who publicly looted the public fund, who are sent to jail. Some of them still standing trial, and they are still politically relevant, choosing who is going to be who, even themselves running for offices. In such society, there's always obsession with crime and punishment. Therefore, it simply means in that same system, you go see somebody will go jail, and then you go appeal. Then they say he win election. He become a senator to go and make laws against what? Crime, such society. They are called leaders in Nigeria, a bunch of criminals that you worship and celebrate. Okay. Now, here is another one. They have rampant cronyism and corruption. You know, in Nigeria, what you have is who knows who. Abi, Shemukparo, Nalai. Maybe who knows who. Majority of you are existing for. Those of you who have not had the opportunity of knowing who, you are joining us now to complain. Abi? But the moment you get to know somebody, if he be your counselor, if he be somebody in all of these roguish groups, that's what you are looking for. Cronyism. Where you have proxies and replace and all of that stuff. That's what you are known for in Nigeria. And corruption. In Nigeria, people don't hate corruption. Oh. Many people just don't like that. They are not the ones benefiting from that corruption. Oh. No this and no peace. Do you get that now? No this and no peace. They don't really hate corruption. Okay? They just sometimes, they just most times don't like that they are not the ones that is benefiting from that corruption. So they join us to speak up. Yeah, this government is bad. The moment they say, they have given Tamba Bioko, they don't give them appointment. Essay to the governor on social media. Tamba Bioko will come back and start speaking grammar and said, why do you hate him? Why is it that you hate Tinubu? Every time, Tinubu. Is it Tinubu your problem? They say, Tamba Bioko, you and I and the rest of us, 2 years ago, all of us, they tell our truth. So we say, all these people are criminals. So they don't give you appointments now. You don't, they ask us or they call us enemies. Enemies of your oppressors. That is what that is anyway. And finally, they always have fraudulent elections. Fraudulent elections. Fraudulent elections like what you are preparing yourselves for today. So look at me very well. I know Nigeria, they have denied you so many opportunities, okay? Right? Let me tell you something. You cannot say Mayegun has no job. It is actually so old. Something that some of you should kind of, if not because of the terrible education, that the likes of Tifnumbu and those who you call your leaders, that they have actually, that they gave to you. Listen, this is 2022, okay? Now, personally, as a trained, as a trained customer service expert, right? Yeah, I have a job that ordinarily fetches me over £24,000 every month. Every year, okay? That is annually. I have that. Then even if I choose not to even work again in my life, do you understand something, right? I have social media platform that ordinarily sharing my views like this, and you coming here to watch and comment and say whatever you want to say all the time actually gives me over 1 million views every month. 1 million views. Do you know what that simply means? I could choose not to work again. So it is so lame that so many of you are like, who are supposed to be living in that same world today. Let me tell you something. Now, so many of you are so talented. So many of you are so gifted. So many of you have so many things that the world could probably learn 1 or 2 things from. In fact, so many of you could indeed build a community. Communities that are contributory to your own development if these criminals created that enabling environment for you. Electricity, you no get. Okay? You don't have electricity. Talk less of having stable internet connections. Unlimited internet connections that could indeed, probably, somehow, showcase that hidden gold mine in you. So, it is lame, it is old, and it is totally, ignorance for you in this 2022, where Mayegun, as of today, where you can type it on your Google and say, this Mayegun's diary. How much is the worth of Mayegun's diary as a platform? Then you will begin to understand why so many of us are only speaking up today simply because no matter what we become, no matter the successes we actually earn, no matter how much we grow, Nigeria will continue to be a threat to people like me, to people like you, hardworking people everywhere who could easily have enjoyed their hard work and sweat. They don't have any business with your politicians. We don't have any business with your government. They failed to create a society that could be a society of love, care, and others for others. Not the one with sociopathic criminals, like many of you, like your leaders. Places where Mayegun, me, I can choose to be in that same Yoruba land, right? A peaceful, crime-free, prosperous, not an impoverished place where everyone is looking for who to take advantage of. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I mean, if you take out the opportunities they have denied you, there's nothing special in this place other than there is a society. I mean, there is a system that doesn't have to check if I am black or white or green or brown before I can actually have access to opportunities. Not because I know somebody or trying to know somebody or anywhere. Do you understand that? That same opportunity, that same system is what many of us are speaking up against. Because today, many of us who work hard for our money, I work hard for my money, okay? And every penny of it, every penny of my money is worth the effort I put into them, okay? So now, if I say I'm going to Nigeria, let me go and enjoy my life. Let me go and meet my family, friends, neighbors, people we grew up with. Then I would have to what? I would have to remember that, somehow, I may get robbed. I may get kidnapped. If I have any medical emergency, I may actually die because I won't have access to it. If, if I decide that I just want to go on different tour on the different part of my own region, I will be told it's not safe. At the end of the day, people like me, I would have to take my money and go elsewhere. The only thing that I ended up having to contribute to Yoruba land is to continue to send you money. So don't ask me to go and get a job. I can give you a job if I was hiring, okay? Because ordinarily, many of you who are doing Bambiala behind all of these politicians, many of you who are leaking asses, those of you who are chasing crunch, who are chasing what do you call it, crumbles from the tables of these politicians, you could have actually excelled like Mayegun. Many of you, if Nigeria of 23 years of democracy, if now only electricity they gave to you 24/7, there are many of you who would have created your own businesses and maintained and sustained them, even though it may not be easy, because it's not easy anyway. But you probably would have done that instead of becoming a vuvuzela, a beggar, ass licker for politicians. And look at me, you are now calling me your enemy when I have not done anything to you. I have not done anything to you. Absolutely nothing. But in a way, this beggar, this beggar that is defending his roguish criminals who found Mayegun as an enemy wants Mayegun to go and look for a job. I mean, how lame is that? I'm just saying. You may not have thought about it that way, but I'm saying it to you, okay? Today, there are many of you who would have to beg people in order for you to be able to pay for hospital bills. You have to beg people before you can even pay for pay for your for your children's school fees. There are many of you who have to young people who have to go and sell your bodies, ladies who have to go and sleep with politicians who took away all these opportunities from you. And today, you see Mayegun and say, shut up your mouth. You are enemy of progress. When I have not in any way been part of those who have contributed to your backwardness, generational poverty that has kept many of you under their wrap for so long. The society they created is the one that is a danger. I mean, that is so dangerous, so to say, to every one of us, including you. You may not be thinking, oh, I understand, oh. It'd be like one guy, when I said that if Numbu is coming here to come and get medical care, the guy is living in Ghana. They say, there are many, Nigerians, Yorubas, and others who have relocated to Ghana. Some of them who are like APC, Egbekegbe supporters, they are into Yahoo. So they say Ghana, if they see them in Ghana, they are Yahoo in Ghana. So this guy came and he said, you are so senseless because you said that Tifnubu is coming here to come and get medical care. Buhari Pro Max. And I said, well, I want to be, I want to near. Yes, I want yala ya enle. I want you was senseless. I just, that's both as usual. And then then the guy came and said, if to say your father fixed Nigeria or something like that, like, if my father fixed Nigeria, I will not be living in Scotland. Or something like if Tifnumbu is president of Nigeria, I will not be living in Scotland. They say, weary, you are living in Ghana, where they have somehow, managed to push you, the place where your own little chance could push you to. And from that Ghana, you are pushing for the continuation of the poverty of that actually sent you out of Nigeria. You are pushing for furtherance of that back in Nigeria, so to say. So normally that's who they are. When you talk about the Lagos Abobako, I am not your enemy. I don't like you, and I know you don't like me, but I am not your enemy. Okay? Because what happened is that the rogues and the criminals that you probably want to keep being in charge of your affair, the consequences of their actions are not limited to just you. Many of us are affected too. Okay, I know they where your police fee touch me, and your police will be doing. They will be using me to slapping me or anything. It's never going to happen. I am not in anywhere close to that, right? I'm not closer to where your DSS or your other criminal roguish groups who are supposed to keep you safe, provide security for you, are busy hunting you down, profiling you, freezing your account, chasing you here and there. I am not close to any of that. I don't have Nigeria. I don't have bank account in Nigeria. I don't have anything that could indeed be so easily accessible to them to take, except if they want to take my land in Odogbolu. And they can take the land anyway if they want to as well. But apart from that, I am not. But every day, all your wishes and all of that for the continued existence of Nigeria under this arrangement is a threat to me. It's a threat to you. It's a threat to all these rogues that you are also defending. To the point that if they have medical emergency now, they have to bring them to where I live. The same place where I can easily just take my car now and drive down and go and see my GP. And my GP say, I want me, you scam me, do this, do that for me. But they have to come here because indeed, if you come into the medical centers, hospitals here in the UK, you will feel it that you are within the medical space where people can tell you what's in the wrong, what's in there with you. Do you get that now? So, I am not your enemy. And what we want is that I know as long as Nigeria continues to exist in this arrangement, people like us are not safe. You are not safe, okay? Forget about all this, okay? Forget about all these other things I've told you. Even you watching me right now personally, who is not even like against any of what they are doing. You are even supporting them. You know you are not safe. Everything they represent is to endanger you, but you are not saying it that way, and you want to turn everybody to Dabi Mosheda. So I get my own small money that I work for, like many of you too. But the problem is that with this existing Nigeria, with this APC, with this one Nigeria, I may never have a chance to enjoy that. Now, look at it another way. In another way, they have contributed to what is still going to become a bigger and bigger and bigger problem that all of us are going to face in the future. I'll tell you. You see, even when Nigeria break up tomorrow, let's say Yoruba nation comes tomorrow, the damages that the likes of this Tifnumbu and gang, they have done to Yoruba land, to Yoruba people. I'll tell you one of them. And maybe some of you should start thinking now as well. The longer Yoruba is still part of this contraption, under this arrangement, the sadder and more unfortunate that future is like going to be for us. And I'll tell you, in 1999, when Nigeria get democracy, this fake democracy, that was 23 years ago. As degenerated as Nigeria has become today, as grown as the basket of the poverty, or let me say the poor people, the number of poor people in Nigeria continue to grow. So in the last 23 years, look at all of the young children that were given birth to 23 years ago. They are no longer children. Oh. They are adults. So many of them are married. Some are not married. They have their children they are taking care of right now. Life is eating them so bad and terribly that if you ask what made that happen, go and check the type of education they gave to them. As all of you are trying, as all of us were struggling through life, trying to make the best of what we can of our own lives and our family with what Nigeria is throwing at you and throwing at everyone. What you don't know is that there are millions of other Yoruba sons and daughters that were abandoned, just like millions of them have been abandoned as you are watching this video today, as they are promising you this and that. In 23 years of democracy in Nigeria, ask yourselves, how many of you who are 23 years old today, watching Mayegun right now, from any part of Nigeria, how many of you can say, if Nigeria continue like this in another 5-10 years, you will survive? Be honest, though. 23 years of age, those of you who are Yorubas, who were born 23 years ago when democracy started, they abandoned you. They ruined your education. They ruined your dietary through your own, the type of healthcare system, the access to food, and every other thing that you've experienced in your lives for the past 23 years. Today, so many of you are uneducated. Many of you are miseducated. Some of you are graduates today. You are unemployable. The type of skills they gave to you will never put food on your table or feed your family anymore. Now you just have to resort to something else just to get through life. Many of you that were given birth to 23 years ago, this is not a cause, so you are going to be poor for the rest of your lives. I am not trying to make you feel bad. I am trying to make you see the light, because 23 years ago, you never knew you are going to be Nigerians. Did you? Your parents who gave birth to you, they had dreams. 23 years after, and you are living in Nigeria today, tell me, how many of you can boldly say, if Nigeria continue like this, Mayegun, sir, I should not lie to you, sir, what I'm going through in Nigeria. And you know why they have incapacitated you? I figured it out. They started incapacitating us as Nigerians in Nigeria through the type of education they gave to us. The type of education they gave to us is the type you can call the servitude education. The one that programs you and prepares you to just say, yes, sir, yes, ma, just obey and go. If you dare question the obvious, you are going to be outcasted, or you're going to be called a rebel. And then at the end of the day, if you end up having to fight through life and make it, you to be on your own. Now, those they conditioned, all of us, they conditioned to be obeying yes, sir, yes, ma. Respect elders, respect this, respect that. Respect pastor, respect imam. Fear this, fear that. All of us, they conditioned to that part. They ended up making us become people who can't think for ourselves, people who are not confident enough to take decisions, people who cannot see through, who cannot see anything through in life. Education they fed us with prepared many of us to exist just for existence sake. We are going to be poor for the rest of our lives. This is not a matter of God is going to make you rich. Many, many millions of you are programmed and you're going to be poor for the rest of no amount of help. Now, I used this frame of 23 years ago. This is a recent history, okay? Whether you are PDP or APC, I don't give a damn about that. I'm talking to you right now. Just to let you know the effect that those who never got real education, they will lack social empowerment enough that they could even empower themselves. They would have to rely on whatever the system actually thrown at them. And they will have to survive through that as well for the rest of their lives, because they will never have the educational qualification or the type of educational, sort of booster that they needed to be empowered and be responsible themselves. And it is deliberate. So 23 years. Now you have jobless young people all over the place. So what do you think is going to happen when we get Yoruba Nation? We're going to start educating adults. We're going to start a mass re-education. We're going to tell people that they can think for themselves. We're going to tell them that they can think and act on their own enough that they can be responsible for their own actions. We're going to tell them that they shouldn't blame devil or God for whatever they choose or do. Are we going to do all of that in order to change the orientation of everyone? These guys deliberately put everybody in disregard in order for them to keep you under their control forever and ever. So you can call me your enemy, even if I have done nothing to you. You can call me the enemy of your progress, even if you know that I am not anywhere close to even seeing the progress in you at all. But whatever it is, you will never, ever have to one day call me one of them who did this to you. I am not one of those who did this to you or doing this to you. I am one of those telling you that you can think outside the box. You can actually be a rebel in a system that doesn't give a damn about you. A system that wants you to exist for statistics' sake. And that somehow is a threat for those who have tasted their freedom. I have tasted freedom. What is freedom? Freedom is when I can do what I want whenever I want under the legal limits. Because that is why you have laws. Laws are meant to remind you that you can do all you want whenever you want under the limitation of the law. A system that so many people are kind of angry with, like, why do we have law? Why do you have to say this? But fine, I can do whatever I want, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at most people who kill behind all these criminals in Nigeria, they are not killing behind Tifnumbu. They're not killing behind Atiku because they love Nigeria. You are not killing behind Tifnumbu because you love Nigeria now. Tell yourself the truth now. Abi, you are queuing behind Bokuwari because you love Nigeria, and you are seeing what is going on right now, and then you say, oh, it's because I love Bokuwari more than Nigeria, or you love Tifnubu more than... You're not doing it because of that. Many of you are doing this because of what you are going to get. Many of you are doing it because of the fear of poverty, okay? But none of you could do what you want whenever you want. You do what you can. You do what they dictate or expected of you to do. That's not the word that you should, in a way, never feel threatened. I can go wherever I want, whenever I want. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want. Reasonably so. That is the freedom of what so many people are actually looking for. And that's why I said that, you see, if I see anyone who is bold enough to say, this system, I would do everything to contribute to its end. That system is what you are bringing to an end. And that's why I said that if you love Nigeria, you should break it up. Breaking it up is simply that let all the criminals go back to where they come from. May everybody go deal with their own criminals. They say if we get Yoruba Nation, right? They said that the same criminals are still going to be in charge. I say, okay, you wait and see. If your own criminals or your own terrorists return back to you, give them red carpets, build them palaces, and then, do whatever they want that will make them continue to live like kings, the king of thieves. So that is why I said that, Nigeria is a threat the way it is currently structured. It is a threat not only to you, not just to me, even to those who are benefiting from it. You have reason them now. You get a stomach ache because you are a big man. They have to go and start a plane. And they have to fly you 14 hours to America to go and treat a stomach upset. You are coming out of the shower on your tiles, in your porch house, you fell down, you broke your leg, and then the next thing, instead of them taking you to Bubi, where they have standardized it better than any orthopedic hospital all over the world, they didn't do that. So they have to package them, start a plane, and they have to fly them 6 hours to a London hospital. And you, the mumu, you are back in Nigeria praying to God for his quick recovery. And we are praying to God for your quick recovery, sir. Shade those ones, they like themselves. Who likes themselves enough that they deny you the good things of life? They deny themselves too. So you can see me as your enemy. You can say anything, but I understand that you will only say all of that because you are a fraudulent one Nigerianist. Tell yourself the truth. That's the truth. You don't like me, not because I did anything to you, not because I contributed to your miserable lives, not because I contributed to the national grid that is collapsing. Epilepsy. They say collapsing national grid. It be like they say UK national grid collapsed. Electricity gone. No light in London, no light in Glasgow, no light in Edinburgh, no light in Belfast, no light here and there. And they are saying that, oh, they have brought the light back again. Oh, thank God, it's only for a few hours. If no be say una don mad, are you with me? So that's the point, oh, that I didn't do anything to you. I did not pay the terrorists that are killing you. The point is, the people who are hurting you, they are hurting themselves too. But they don't care, since you don't care. Let everybody hold their own thieves. No be fight, okay? If Okorocha, Oples Uzodigba, Devulumayi, and the rest of all those rogues from Eastern Nigeria who have contributed to the backwardness of the Eastern Nigeria, contributed to what has now become the most divided Nigeria today, in either through their collaboration, their silence, and what have you, the Igbos can deal with their own criminals. Let the Arewas go and deal with their own criminals. And then let us in Yoruba land deal with our own criminals and the Agberos they have created. Do you understand that now? So if you are asking for Yoruba nation like me, I want you to remember that the damages done to us by Nigeria is beyond the economic damages. We can recover from the economic ruins that Nigeria has brought upon us as a people. 62 years of generational poverty, 62 years of ego better. Now, many of us are fathers. Many of you are mothers today. Today, many of you are parents now. Now that you are parents, your children are now shouting up NEPA in your lifetime, and you are still there shouting, come back home and come and break it now. Look at this idiot. Go and look for a job. Jobless beggars telling somebody who has the same better life, if not better, than the criminals that are ruling you or leading you, is asking me to go and get a job. Baba, it go hard though. Do you understand that now? It go tough. But the same thing is this, right? Just remember, the choice that you are making is not only limited, the consequences of the choice you're making is not only limited to you, it affects those who don't want to be part of that nonsense, okay? So if Tifnubu and gang comes back into Yoruba land, yeah, you will realize that, like I said, the damages they have done to us is beyond the poverty they have created. We can recover from that somehow, but there are some things we will never be able to recover from for 6 generations. Baba, you know what that means, eh? There are many, many of you. There are many, many of you today in your 50s, in your 60s. This is the Nigeria you have known. The one that you witnessed when you are like babies or kids. Now you are grown up to old men and women in your 60s. So, this is the Nigeria you have seen. And you can be very, very honest with yourselves that now this last 23 years alone, that I used as an example, when Yoruba nation comes, the ticking time bomb is the number of this disgraceful Yoruba sons and daughters who are lost completely in this charade and in this contraption called Nigeria. And they have become so worse off that self-hate is a pride to them. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian before I'm a Yoruba. Says a confused Yoruba son or daughter. I just don't want to say something bad there, right? It is called self-hate, self-devaluation, lost identity. My friend, I know everything you are saying is to break up Nigeria. But let me tell you something. I'm a Nigerian before I'm a Yoruba man. I'm a Nigerian before I'm an Igbo man. Said a sort of, such a confused lot. You are confused though. Yes, you are. If Yorubas, as Yorubas, the damages they have done to us, which I believe are multifaceted. You see, the economic recovery part is the easiest. Dealing with the rogues who put us in this mess, we know them, we know their names, we know their family, we know where they keep all their properties. We know them, but we cannot touch them because Nigeria protects thieves. But as Yorubas, when Yoruba is not part of the contraption, we can recover economically so quickly. But the one that I scared foremost that we will never recover is the generation, especially the generation of these last 23 years. We will never recover from them. Because there's a saying that, the children that you failed to train properly will be the ones to burn down whatever you might have accumulated in your lifetime. If for them, that's exactly what Nigeria is. And that's exactly what Yoruba land is going to face in the future. Uneducated, miseducated Yorubas who are part of the rotten education system of Nigeria, they are going to be part of us. I am worried for them than I am worried for Tifnumbu and the rogues who are Yorubas that will be part of Yoruba, because they are Yorubas. Nobody is going to kick them out. What happened is that you will never, ever want to see criminals like that to ever be part of a new nation that is coming out of the ruins that their likes created. Do you get what I mean now? I am more worried for so many of you miseducated Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, the social media Facebook beggars Alimajiris, and the rest of you who have been programmed to be exactly what you are currently showcasing here and there. I am more worried for what you are going to become. Because if you are looking for our own future Boko Haram, even while we are still part of Nigeria, we have them lurking around. They are in their millions, as you are watching right now. They are everywhere in Yoruba land. They created them unproductive, unemployable, and then in any way, what do you call it? Unfavorable to themselves as well, unproductive, so to say. And political charade, political groupings are their own survivor key things. When they see these rogues and politicians, these criminals who put them in this entire mess for their own survival, they would defend them in a safe, independent, sovereign nation called Yoruba nation, right? I am more worried for these guys. How are we going to train them? How are we going to identify and engage them? How are we going to make them productive? I am talking about the generation of those they have made to believe that they can only survive begging or through crime. I said so many of us are growing up and then investing in our own growth. But every now and then you see all these children, out of school children, in different traffic in Lagos, traffic on Lagos Ibadan Expressway, traffic on Lagos Ore Expressway, Benin Ore Expressway. Every express road where you have traffic, you will see young men and women, children who are there. You know what I mean? They are going to have to survive. These are the people that many of them nobody cared for them. You don't care for them. You probably don't know they exist. You don't even know the danger they pose and all of that. But one day, they are going to be the 1 million boys. They are going to have enough weapons to chase you out of your houses, your mansions, your offices, your markets, your roads. And they'll be demanding for their own tax from you. The politicians in Yoruba land are not telling you all of that. Although they are already showcasing that 20-year-old, 23 years old, they are now being recruited into different crime group in Yoruba land. They just haven't given them a name yet. You are going to be their victims, and they are going to be the product of that one Nigeria. When Yoruba land come, when Yoruba nation come, rather, I am worried more for them than many of you are worried for Tifnumbu and all that. So, if you are looking at the damages they have done, I just thought I should take you through that in this case. So, they are clowns that are going to promise you heaven and earth of things they will never do. And you are going to be the mumus, the mugus, who are going to believe them again and again. But just remember this. Remember my words, okay? Choose your poison very carefully. And then don't blame other people for the consequences of your choices, okay? I'm going to call it, I'm going to call it a night at this point. Usually I'll take calls, but let me see if my phone connection is still pretty much back on, okay? So support the advocacy, emergence of the renegotiation of this contraption called Nigeria. It is there to kill us, finish us physically, and then, spiritually too, or consciously, whatever you want to say. Nigeria, when it happens to those it has happened to, and the victims and all of those who are still like urging this to continue due to lack of understanding of what you are asking for. Just remember what I've told you tonight. The criminals that are going to promise you heaven and earth, they have their lives built elsewhere, like Bokwari, like Tifnumbu, like Atifku, like the rest of them. They have their lives built elsewhere, and you have no life built anywhere else. And if you have any to build at all, it will be to what? Never to be part or continue to be part of this lie. I'll say that, and I'll leave you to your own choice and choices. But I'll take calls too, just before I call it a night. I'll make myself a cup of tea. And when I get back, we can possibly take 1 or 2 calls and say good night. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back.
Agbado.